Hope you're all having a good day. My name is Landon, but on here I go by Landon, and I'm here to talk to you today about the home game console. As technology has progressed over time, the home game console has become a staple in most households today. And don't let the fact that most houses have a game console mean that everyone plays them like in these commercials. It's usually some random 16-year-old kid no-lifing his way through Elden Ring in his bedroom. And these consoles have evolved from hosting basic local multiplayer and single-player experiences in the past to telling stories in one of the most compelling and high-quality mediums in today's world. What's funny though is that in a time where technology is so advanced, I can basically do all my college coding homework in about 5 minutes. With AI, use some of those websites, man. I got you. But you didn't hear that from me though. But after narrowing the playing field down over the years, we have three consistent companies: Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, all making their own stuff. Again and again. And I'm not here to complain by no means, but are these consoles actually getting better over time? Or are we just locked in this continuous cycle of improving the console, but the innovation and creativity kind of take a back seat? The reason I ask this strange question is because of two things: Microsoft's Xbox One and Sony's PlayStation 4. In a very short history lesson, the PlayStations and Xbox had been built on and improved for a long time leading up to the PS4 and Xbox One. Since it was the year 2000 and people realized, oh, we're not actually going to die in the year 2000, they were like, alright, I guess I'll just make the first Xbox. The Xbox was a major success though on launch, historically one of the largest console launches of all time. And it locked itself into a lifelong competition with Sony's PlayStation. And of course did irreversible damage to the youth and young adults of today, revealing insults never even thought possible by anybody, like gay station and gay box. The PlayStation though was a big thing too. We see the PlayStation 1 was introduced in 1995 here in America and sold 100,000 units on day one. That's about 30 million boxes of ramen noodles or 6 trips to Taco Bell perhaps. The third-party support on this thing was really what set it apart from its competitors. Nintendo was being Nintendo of course and had limited itself to around 200 games for its Nintendo 64, while PlayStation had like 400 to choose from. This was the foundation for the following PlayStation home consoles, and it really set a blueprint that would just be repeated and added to for the next years to come. Dropping the same year was the much improved PlayStation 2. I used to run an Instagram meme page back when that was cool, and I had multiple arguments with people when I was like 14 about if the GameCube was better than the PlayStation 2. So trust me, I know how y'all think, and I know what your opinions are, and how much freaks there are about the PlayStation 1 and 2 were completely different things. PlayStation had really built on top of the PlayStation 1's success well, with new DVD and CD support, and some of the best game titles to this day being released on it. Some of these games were born on the PlayStation 2, and that's why it's a big console to this day and at the time. And over here we had Xbox, who was basically doing the same thing, just with less of these filler consoles in between, let's say. All these slim consoles that the PlayStation released are about as important to me as the 199 filler episodes in Naruto Shippuden. The Xbox 360 was released in 2005, a part of the 7th great generations of gaming consoles, with the PS3 and the Nintendo Wii, a console that I'm still not really sure if it exists or not. I mean, I'll be honest, I think this is like actually one of the best generations of gaming. These are three like major consoles that I'd say most people still like and play to this day and still look back at fondly. This is when I believe we started to see that Nintendo was very different from the other two companies. Of course, we always kind of knew Nintendo has been the odd one out of this trio, but it had constantly tried to sort of mimic what the Xbox and PlayStation were trying to do back in the early 2000s. Yes, the bulk of games on Xbox and PlayStation are mature rated, which Nintendo never really went the route of, but Nintendo had always been forced to try to compete with these companies to establish a name for itself, and I feel like with the Nintendo Wii, it finally had really carved out that fan base and that name for itself. It wasn't like fighting to, establish its name or anything, which is why I think the Wii is the most important console out of the 360 or the PS3. It was Nintendo's first breakthrough console, if you see what I'm saying. Of course, the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 had their pros, and they were really good ones. Xbox Live on the 360 created multiplayer experiences never seen before that PS3 sucked at. The Blu-ray high definition quality of the PS3 that, you could play your Netflix mailed-in DVDs on. And I'm not trying to knock either of these consoles, because I still think the 360 is one of the best consoles of all time. I mean, I was just playing some of the old Call of Duties because they've kind of redone them a little bit, and the Xbox even 360 home menu is even not just nostalgic, but still holds up to this day. The greatness of these consoles was cut short, though, by the brand new PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. The PS4 and Xbox One are excellent consoles. Some will argue, of course, that the old gen had better consoles and stuff, but the PS4 and Xbox One were always the definitive way to play. It was the old gen, but on better hardware essentially. They were very good home consoles for the time. They brought to life some amazing games on consoles that had less issues than the old gen and all ran together a lot smoother. In the wake of this era though, of the PS4 and Xbox One, there were lots of re-releases, small improvements made on the originals that came out, and I was the owner of an Xbox One S, which was a great improvement on the Xbox One, so these additions were worth it. But then it came time to look for a new gen and a new console. When these new consoles came out, the Xbox Series S and X and the PS5, X4 2 6000, it was cool because, you know, they definitely are just the new era of consoles, great quality and run extremely fast. And I don't want to take away anything from how actually amazing these consoles are because it's unlike anything out there right now. There had been such huge leaps from the old gen to the new gen in the past, from the PS3 to the PS4, from the 360 to the Xbox One. And when the Xbox Series X came out, it felt kind of like, you know, they were still sort of just building on top of that Xbox One baseline. It feels like even the new consoles today were just, you know, performance and graphic updates, which, don't get me wrong, are really good, but it didn't really feel like there was, you know, much more creatively going on with the console. Which brings us to Nintendo. Nintendo has always been on the forefront of the new thing, not necessarily in hardware, which is unfortunate, but in something new. The 64 is weird, but I like it. It's different. Yes, there were things released around the time similar, but even years after, nothing was like it. So did Nintendo decide to go more the route of the PlayStation and Xbox, you know, we need more third-party stuff, more M-rated games or bigger titles? They decided no, which, you know, I wouldn't be mad if they, you know, did stuff like third-party support and, you know, things like common sense, like, you know, put better, you know, bigger discs instead of these small discs, like what are these? But I guess then the Cube would be too big to carry, so I see their point. But the GameCube is still looked at so fondly by everyone, and most importantly, it was something new. Even though the DS wasn't exactly the first portable console in gaming, it was one of the greatest versions of the handheld console at the time and to this day. And look through a list of handheld consoles pre-DS, and it really stands out as the unique design that isn't just the standard buttons on the side, screen on the center build. And I don't even need to explain how different and innovative the Wii was. Handheld remote motion controls being the only way to control the console was unheard of, and was a major success and influenced the other major companies to give it a try as well. And so on and so on, Nintendo has proven with each generation and big step, barring what you might think of the company for its games, reputation, or whatever, Nintendo consoles truly changed the game with each release. And which is why I think it's the only company left who really takes another step with its work each console release. Now I hear you, Nintendo is underpowered for the day and age we live in, which I agree, yes, is stupid. It's retarded! Why would I want to be playing all these games in 30 FPS? Listen, Tears of the Kingdom, I haven't played it. It looks like a cool game, but like, dude, why not wait and put it on a new gen console, I feel like. But I would rather a company be a little behind in its tech and how powerful their consoles are, but still be putting out new and never seen before things instead of just locked in a cycle of improvement but not innovating their work to the next level it could be. I'm far from saying things over at Nintendo are perfect, and you know, this isn't, you know, just a video to outright drool over how much I like Nintendo consoles, but you know, that's kind of how it's seeming while I'm recording this. But it's just to show that Nintendo has always been pushing boundaries with their console releases, even when it wasn't the surefire route. Nintendo Switch was a thing we had never seen before in gaming, and it feels like sort of the last console to put a bunch of innovation and creativity into their console design. PS and Xbox are gonna put out a new console eventually, so you know, what's the next step then, you ask? Should everyone just go portable like Nintendo did? I think personally that whenever Xbox and PlayStation do their next gen of consoles in a few years, they should just have something crazy. Have some crazy new UI, new controller that can like change colors or something, picture in picture so I can watch my favorite content creators and YouTube and Hulu while playing Call of Duty. Make a console that can be split into two so I can hook it up and play with someone in the same room, even though they're on a separate monitor. Just, I don't know, something weird. I don't really care. Like, I'm just throwing out wacky ideas because it needs to be something that isn't just the same old hardware update. So yes, it is important to make the console more powerful, but like, dang, I just want something fresh, to be real with you. How I look at it is when you buy a PlayStation or Xbox, it's because you don't own a PC and you want to play an exclusive title or something. But with buying a Nintendo product, you're getting it because you can't experience anything like it anywhere else. And it's not only the games you're buying it for, it's the console and how cool it is and how there's a different way to play every time. So yeah, this video wasn't meant to just go wild over Nintendo console design the whole time, but you know, while I'm recording it and stuff, it's kind of like, dude, shut up about Nintendo. Like, I get it though. I'm about to. Okay, I'm done. But at the end of the day, just, you know, buy whatever you want, because it's all expensive, so do whatever and, you know, buy whatever you have fun on the most. But anyway, I hope you all had a good time watching this video, and hopefully you have a good rest of your evening, and I'll see you guys in next month probably, or in a couple weeks. I got a couple video ideas lined up, so, you know, Armored Core 6 comes out in August 25th, which is probably around the time this video is coming out, and then Starfield comes out the following month, so I'm thinking I'm probably going to do videos on both. So, you'll probably hear from me then. So anyway, love you guys, and see you later.